Now, Lesotho has unveiled the next paradigm to diversify its economy, fruit farming. Deputy Prime Minister Mothetjoa Metsing led an open day to showcase plans to convert 5,000 square kilometres, that's about a sixth of the small mountainous kingdom, from grain subsistence farming to commercial horticulture. Take a look.
10.7 hectares, an equivalent of 11 football fields. This is one of 6 pilot farms growing peaches, apples, plums and apricots in Leribe and Berea.
These 9 individual farmers used to grow grains like maize, and they were just making about 2,000 per hectare. And for 3 fruit trees, when they are mature, the farmers will be able to make almost 10 times of what they've been doing when they were growing maize.
In the past, the World Bank warned Lesotho to diversify away from textiles and reliance on SACU revenues. It seems horticulture is the answer.
Diversifying Lesotho's economy and decreasing its reliance on textile exports is critical for Lesotho's long-term success. And developing the fruit sector is a key step in that direction.
And now Lesotho fruits will have a distinct brand, Mountain Harvest.
The brand was designed by this young man, and we are proud that Lesotho produce will be known worldwide.
With the Global Gap certification, these fruits meet international standards and they can be exported anywhere in the world.
But the best judges are the buyers.
I sell in Lady brand in South Africa, and here I get the best quality.
I sell in Maputo.
This is a very good project. I think we should look at that.
Now Lesotho wants landowners to convert 5,000 square kilometers to horticulture.
We need to roll out this program. You are aware the program is working. It has been tested. So people, we know that if we want to generate employment, fight poverty, these are some of the projects that we have to invest a lot of money in, so that agriculture, agro-industry can go a long way in generating employment in Lesotho.
Retailers, banks and academic institutions that were present will be key in mapping the way forward for agriculture to reclaim its contribution to GDP that went down from 20% in the 70s to less than 10% today. These peaches can sell anywhere in the world, and the 17 people that are employed on this farm are just a fraction of the jobs that could be created if Lesotho can take advantage of the 5,000 square kilometers where fruit farming can happen in this country, and the contribution to GDP, we don't even talk about that. Ntakwana Ngatani, SABC News, Leribe, Lesotho.
All right, well, maybe we won't talk about it in that insert, but we're going to talk about it right now, because in studio with us is Joshua Setipa. He's Lesotho's Trade and Industry Minister. Minister, thank you. Thank you for being with us here.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Thank you very much.
It is a huge and ambitious task. Do you think it is achievable?
It is achievable. It is the only way to go if we are going to transform our economy. It is the only way we can be able to begin to reduce reliance on 1 or 2 key sectors where the economy has been very dependent on. And as you know, agriculture for developing countries is a very big employment generator, and we believe that this is the way to go.
Yeah, yes. I mean, we heard in the insert, and we do know that the World Bank has warned Lesotho to diversify its economy. Do you think this is the answer? I mean, this is what this is answering the call to what the World Bank is asking?
Well, this is part of our diversification strategies. We are not only diversifying out of manufacturing, but also diversifying within manufacturing. For example, we are looking at other sectors where we can be able to use this over 20 years of experience in manufacturing clothing to be able to reduce reliance on the textile and apparel sector. We are looking at the automotive sector. We've already secured a couple of investments that allow us to use that knowledge and those skills to be able to reduce this dependence. But the reality is that today, as we speak, the clothing sector is still a big part of our economy.
Yeah.
We are today the biggest producer of clothing in sub-Saharan Africa. We produce over 125 million pieces of clothing a year. We sell 65% of that production to the US, 35% of that comes to South Africa. And we are seeing significant growth in the South African clothing sector as South African retailers move away from sourcing from places like China because of exchange rate issues and realize that it is much more cost competitive to source locally. So it remains a key sector, but we also realize that we have to reduce reliance on that sector.
Yeah, on just that sector. I mean, there needs to be this diversification. Yes. 5,000 square kilometers. This, of course, as we know, is a sixth of the country's land, is arable for this horticulture. How are you getting the people of Lesotho to buy into this?
When we launched this pilot project in 2006, it wasn't easy because traditionally families grow maize. So when you tell them stop growing maize, switch to trees and fruit trees, it took a bit of time. But now we're able to demonstrate with this success in the pilot projects to demonstrate that, if I give you an example, our estimates are that a farmer generates about 2,000 rands per hectare if he grows maize. With these fruit trees, you generate close to 100,000 rands per hectare. So the financial gains are significant, and the success of this pilot project has demonstrated to communities that it's actually viable. So we have a number of strategic conditions that allow us to be able to be competitive in this. For example, we have the right climate. We have we have an advantage over South Africa that our trees, our products get to market at least between 2 and 4 weeks before the South African products. So we can get to market well in advance of the South African production. We have secured the support of major retailers in Lesotho who are already stocking these products, production on their shelves. So we are very excited about this possibility.
Yeah. Just finally, and I know we're running out of time, but it's very difficult to conduct this interview without talking about the current political situation in Lesotho at the moment. I know that you are not a member of the troubled Prime Minister's party, but the reality is that this political turmoil, and there's even talk that it might lose its existing preferential arrangements with AGOA, which would have a detrimental effect on jobs and a detrimental effect on this agricultural industry that you've built so much and put a lot of work into. Never mind this plan. You know, how are you planning on getting over that?
Well, I think if you look at any modern democracy today, if you look at Italy, it had 54 governments in 50 years. As long as any challenges to government are done in parliament, are done within the constitution, I think that's a sign of political maturity. A few years ago, government change in Lesotho was through the barrel of the gun. Today, anybody who wants to challenge government, who wants to challenge the incumbent prime minister, goes about it in parliament. So for me, I think it's to be celebrated that we are talking about a possible government change, or at least there are people that are trying to change government, but they're doing it in parliament. The same happens in this country. Last week you had a vote of no confidence against the president. It's a democratic process, and it should be it should be allowed because that's what the constitution guarantees. So as far as questioning whether this leads to instability, I think it would be unfair to say that when people are practicing their democratic prerogative, then that's a sign of instability. It becomes a problem if it was an undemocratic change of government. And like any democracy, the opposition has the right to challenge, and let them challenge it, and let's see if they prevail. We have the constitution that provides for that. Now, in as far as whether that puts in jeopardy our market access in the US, I don't think so. Because, like I say, it is done within the constitution, and it does not in any way undermine our commitment to democracy. It actually demonstrates that we've reached a higher level of democratic maturity, and it should be allowed to run its course as long as it's within the constitution, not by the barrel of the gun.
Thank you for talking to us here on the program. Joshua Setipe, Lesotho's Trade and Industry Minister, talking to us about their ambitious plan of extending that 5,000 square kilometre, a sixth of the country's land, for arable horticulture. All right, that's where we leave it for this morning.